Thanks so much for coming by today. I just wanted to share a little bit about my journey from being raised in a Southern church that believes being gay is a sin and you can hate the sin but love the sinner, but they're still going to hell, things like that. That didn't really make sense to me. How I went from being raised one way to the arc of becoming a gay ally and just being so grateful that God made love in all forms. And so today I just wanted to break down some of the barriers you have to go through if you have been told certain things your whole life that may be misrepresented to you. So, first of all, I was born in the 70s because I'm ancient. So, when I was growing up, there wasn't much gay talk, and I didn't even know that the gay icons I loved were gay yet. We didn't have internet, and people weren't out of the closet. And so at 12 years of age, when we're watching Wham and George Michael's in his hot pink shorts with his feathered hair, of course we wanted to have his babies. It never occurred to us he didn't want to have our babies because, in his video, remember he had the hot model and his motorcycle and father figure, and they were making out. And so in those days we were just like, yep, he's a hetero, I should marry him. And so we weren't really aware yet, right? A lot of people were still in the closet. So then I went to the School of Fine Arts when I was in ninth grade. And the Alabama School of Fine Arts was where a lot of creative types escaped public school from bullying, especially if they were somewhere on the spectrum of gay or bi or questioning or not even sure yet. But if you were effeminate and a boy, it was very possible that you were going to be bullied in a public school. So the School of Fine Arts was just this wonderful mix-up of different types of people that weren't neurotypical in a lot of ways, I guess. And so that made me start to really ask questions of my church because I couldn't understand if love is God and God is love, love is from God, and two men love each other, then what's different? The love is still there, right? It's just one has the wrong body parts or the wrong anatomy or the wrong chromosomes, but does that stop love? Because love is something that we can't even create, right? You can't force yourself to love someone. As many times as people have tried this, you might learn to love someone, but you can't force love, and you can't stop love once you feel it, right? It's something that is kinetic, that is in the soul. It's far beyond things like the wrong person because of their sex. So that was kind of my first understanding that this law I was being raised with didn't make sense. Also, I was already confused about how some orifices were okay because we only have so many orifices for sexuality anyway, right? And so this one's good, but this one's bad. Unless a woman does it, she can use that orifice, but not men because that's bad. And so something like that, even as a teenager, that doesn't make any sense to me. And why do you care which orifice people are using anyway? So that was kind of building my case against what I had been taught. And then also when I learned about people who were intersex. Now back in the day we called that hermaphrodite, but I found out recently that is derogatory. Do not use that term anymore. I didn't think it was, but if it offends someone, then I just figure why not try to not offend people. So it is now intersex, which is the letter when you see LGBTQIA. The I is for intersex. Someone born with both parts. And this happens more than we know, especially back in the day because people weren't open about it. And the parents would decide which sex they would keep. So then my mind started thinking, well, what if they choose the wrong sex? Do you have to go to hell if you were a female trapped in a male body and your parents just picked the wrong genitalia for you? That doesn't make sense, does it? Because really, does it matter if you have a different shape of genitalia? Does it change who you are? If you were born with two parts. Which one's the bad one and which one's the good one? Which one gets you to heaven and which one gets you to hell? Doesn't make sense, does it? Because that's not what it's about. And our soul is not connected to our skin. It doesn't matter. And this leads me to the next point, which I actually had got a tete-a-tete, if you will, with a hairdresser years ago, because she was going on about trans people not being allowed to be in the church. And I said, why not? And she just looked at me and she was like, that's messing with nature. That's messing with God, she says to me, because they're taking their sexual reproductive organs and changing them. And this lady had obviously had a boob job because she had a very small frame with some really big tatas. And I just said, as, curious as I was, well, is that different than someone having a nose job or a butt implant or a boob job? I mean, that's messing with nature, isn't it? And she slammed her door with all her stuff in it and left and sent another person to come finish my hair. Thank God she'd already done the color, so I wasn't in trouble, but I just feel the same way as I did that day. Why can't you adjust your body to how it feels right for you? I feel like God wants you to be happy, and that this physical encasing we're in really isn't that important. You can tattoo it, you can pierce it, you can color it if you want to in a tanning bed, or take pills to change your melatonin. Melatonin, there's just so many, no, wait, not melatonin, that's the one that helps you sleep, isn't it? Well, you know what I'm talking about, the pigment in your skin, that we could change all these things about our bodies, but the minute that someone says, I don't want these boobs anymore, or I do want some boobs, even though I didn't used to have them, people are like, oh no, you crossed the line. Well, that's ridiculous. And if anyone's ever told you that I hope you can just chalk that up to the same as someone saying, well, you're a camel, because you're not, and you know it's not. And it's just pointless to really argue with someone over things like that, as this hairdresser showed me one day. So all these questions just led me to discover that there were other churches that don't believe that. And I'm so sorry for those of you who have not experienced a Christian that doesn't condemn people to hell. I'm so sorry. Please let me apologize for the church and other Christians, because I don't believe that. And I believe that all love is sacred. I'm actually officiated in the Universal Church. Anybody can be. You just go online and you could officiate a wedding. So I actually have officiated a gay wedding before, my best friend from college and his husband. And I love love. It's my favorite. And so I am just so thankful for love in all forms. I'm so thankful for gay people. I'm thankful for the spectrum of sexuality. And I feel like what's most important is that you are happy. That's what's most important. And you can even change your mind. I was friends with Alexis Arquette for many years, and she morphed into a he there towards the end. And even when we hung out sometimes, I would hang out with her as she, and I would sometimes hang out with him as him. And he was spectacular at both. I absolutely adored him. And so to me, it's really just about connecting with someone's spirit, and I'm not that interested. That's why if you're fat, skinny, black, white, 3 boobies, I really don't care. I mean, honestly, if that's what makes you happy, then I want you to be happy, and I feel that God does too. So if you are struggling with LGBT QIA issues in the church, as we are in the Methodist Church, I just want you to know that I'm here, I'm fighting for you, I'm staying. I could abandon the church many times and just go to the spiritual center, which is all different types of denominations without any conflict with rules and things like that, because it's more about the big picture. But I stay in the church and I fight for the gay clergy who deserve to be heard. Our church had a gay pastor for 8 years, and he's one of the reasons that I stay and I fight, because you deserve it, and God made you, and God doesn't make mistakes, just like the old poster used to say. And so I am so glad that God made you, whoever you are. And I just want to say that I love you and thank you, and spread a little love today if you get the chance. Thanks so much.